Welcome to Yellow Duck Motorsports coverage here today of the 100 years of Triumph and a visit to the Bathurst Motor Museum. I think it's actually called the National Motor Racing Museum, perhaps. I think that's an Indy car. Interesting looking open wheeler, and one extreme to the other here, a very old open wheeler when drivers needed to be very brave. Oh my goodness, what do we have here? This is a Mini Cooper S. This is a tribute car by the look of it. It looks to me like it's a possible replica of the Minis that ran at Bathurst in the 1966 race, maybe, when Minis won the race, and I think maybe finished in the first 12 places. They dominated that race. Oh my goodness, what do we have here? This is one of the prettiest cars to ever race at Bathurst. My goodness, the John Goss Ford Falcon from maybe 19, I don't know, 70, 74, 75, 75 I think, maybe, it's a guess. And another John Goss Ford Falcon, I think the year after or thereabouts. Another beautiful colour scheme of those cars, very nice. Oh my goodness, this is a Matic Formula 5000, very much from my era. John Goss drove it. I think he won the Australian Grand Prix in it. I think he's the only person to do that, the Australian Grand Prix and win Bathurst. And here's the Jaguar that he also won Bathurst in. Again, V12 Jaguar. Oh my goodness, what do we have here? This is really in my area of interest. This is the Around Australia Holden Commodore that Peter Brock drove in a 1-2-3 finish for the Holden Commodore. Unbelievable achievement when you think about it, to compete in such an event and finish 1-2-3. Was quite amazing. Had a bit of an off-road excursion there in the front guard, but my goodness, I'm surprised that wasn't fixed straight after the event. Anyway, here we have a V8 supercar, we won't worry about that, and some Holden Monaros from the 12 hour or 24 hour that they ran. These are also cars that would have run in that sort of 12 hour or 24 hour. Not sure what the one on the left is, but the Ford Cortina, my goodness. Another Bathurst winning car. Looks like a tribute car as well. Oh my goodness, you know, can you imagine? I think it was a 500-mile race back then. My goodness. Ford Falcon. Oh geez, testing the memory again, maybe 67. Again, at this point in time, the cars were road cars. The Holden Monaro of the same era would have been a road car. Here we have what looks like a HO style Falcon, and the two-door Falcon of 1977. Alan Moffat's 1-2 victory. Back to the HO or whatever it might be. Very phase 2 by the look of it. Oh my goodness. Holden Tirana XU1. My goodness, another very iconic Bathurst car. The Holden Tirana. Oh, now here we have a Holden Tirana that for Triumph owners has something to think of. It's the car that the Triumph Dolomite Sprint ran up the backside of on the start line. In whatever year that race was. We're in the Group C era. Now, the Group C era, the cars were allowed to be modified, but not outrageously so, as they are these days. Well, actually these days they're not the car they pretend to be, so they're not actually modified cars, they're purpose-built race cars that look somewhat similar to the road car. But back in the Group C era, the cars were actually the cars. This is a sports sedan. Don't know much about it. I remember it racing at the time, but here we have another Group C, Holden Tirana, Peter Jansen. It was a gentleman sort of racer, not a professional, but he still put up a very good effort every year. I think he finished second, third or fourth quite often. Another Group C car, Alan Grice car. I must admit I don't remember that colour scheme for that car. I just don't remember that at all. My memory's failing. And here we have the Nissan Bluebird, George Fury, great rally driver. Rally drivers have a great knack of crossing over into racing very easily, and there's quite a few who've done that. And here we have the Longhurst Ford Sierra Cosworth. Again, I think that won Bathurst in some year. This is the Group A era. Now the Group A era for me is a wonderful period. It brought us some wonderful cars. The manufacturers had to make, I don't know, 500 examples I think, and this brought about some absolutely great, wonderful road cars. I own a Toyota Celica GT4, and that exists because Toyota went rallying with it. Another Group A car, a BMW. It's number 56, which makes me think it's the team car. There you go, BMW, M3 I think they were. Now we're into the Holden Commodore, again, Group A era. This was the Walkinshaw era after Peter Brock and Holden had their split up. So Walkinshaw took over making them. I think he made 750 actually, but there you go. Now here we are back to Group C Commodore. This is an example of the two extremes really. The Group C era where the cars were modified, but still road cars, but still based on the road car if you like. And next to that is a Holden Monaro of the, I forget what they called it, but these were off the shelf cars. This one is a tribute car to the great Des West. My goodness, well I assume it's a tribute car. Now we're into the era when touring car racing sort of went up a bit of a blind alley and continues to. This is still sort of based on the road car, but we're into the sort of V8 era here. Larry Perkins cars, very successful, he was at it. And here we have a Ford example of the same thing. I think the DNA is still there of the road car, but not much else. They're extremely modified cars, and nothing like you'd buy off the showroom floor, that's for sure. V8 supercar. This, well, obviously by the grille is a Alfa Romeo, but other than that, I have absolutely no idea. The V8s sort of killed my interest in motorsport, so I wasn't following it at that point. Oh my goodness, motorbikes, which I know nothing about, and what looked like speedway cars. Oh my goodness. Well, that's about the end of this tour around the Bathurst Museum. Oh, here's a solar car, I remember that because I worked for TAFE at the time. Anyway, I'm Quack McMullard. Bye for now.